In the last video, we told you the war was coming. This is what happened when it arrived. The sound came before the light. A low rumble beneath Tehran, then a crack, then fire, orange and massive, tearing open the sky above the Milad Tower. Across the city, apartment windows lit up floor by floor. Phones glowed in dark rooms. People rushed to windows. Nobody knew what they were seeing. Within 60 seconds, every Iranian state television channel went dark. Mid-sentence, cut to static. The regime's voice, silenced before it could speak. This is February 28th, 2026, the day the United States and Israel launched the most consequential military strike in modern history. Every minute of this day matters. What happened in the first 6 hours changed the Middle East forever. Stay with us through every second of it. To understand 2:30 a.m., you need to go back to 8 p.m. the night before. Tehran was calm. Families ate dinner, children did homework. Nobody sensed what was hours away. But 2,000 kilometers away, Israeli F-35I pilots were suiting up. Mission briefings were done. The plan was locked. There was no turning back now. In Washington, Trump sat at the head of the Situation Room table. CIA Director, Joint Chiefs, Defense Secretary. All eyes on him. He gave the final order. USS carriers in the Persian Gulf went to battle stations. B-2 stealth bombers were already airborne from Diego Garcia, hours ahead of schedule. The machine was moving. A NATO AWACS surveillance aircraft circled over Turkey, feeding live data. Every Iranian radar position mapped, every air defense battery cataloged and marked. Iranian intelligence picked up unusual signal activity. A warning was drafted. It never reached Khamenei in time. History turned on a margin of minutes. At 11 p.m. Tehran time, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, 86 years old, white beard, black turban, retired for the night in his northern Tehran compound, unaware, his last night alive. At 1:17 a.m., Israeli F-35I stealth fighters crossed into Iraqi airspace, invisible to radar. The most consequential military mission in Israeli history had begun. 1:50 a.m. The first Israeli aircraft crossed into Iranian airspace. Iranian air defense screens showed nothing, stealth technology performing exactly as designed, undetected. 2:28 a.m. Trump recorded a video on his phone. No speechwriters, no teleprompter. He posted it directly to Truth Social. The announcement was coming. The post read, "Major combat operations in Iran have begun." Those words went viral before a single bomb was officially confirmed. The world erupted instantly. The first strike hit Fordow, Iran's nuclear facility buried 80 meters underground beneath a mountain. The ground shook for miles, centrifuge halls destroyed from below. Seconds later, Natanz, Iran's primary uranium enrichment site. Bunker-busting bombs designed specifically for this target. Years of planning, 10 seconds of execution. The strikes were simultaneous across the entire country. Nuclear sites, missile storage, radar installations, all hit within the same 2-minute window, surgical and total. Iranian air defense scrambled. Too late. The F-35s were already ghosting back through Iraqi airspace before the alarms had fully sounded, gone before Iran could respond. Now USB-2 Spirit stealth bombers entered from the south, carrying the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, the largest conventional bunker-busting bomb ever built. The GBU-57 penetrates 60 meters of reinforced concrete. Iran built its nuclear facilities deep specifically to survive attack. The US built these bombs specifically for them. At 2:47 a.m., a second wave of Israeli jets entered Iranian airspace. This wave had a different target entirely, not nuclear sites, the supreme leader himself. Khamenei's compound in northern Tehran was hit directly and precisely. Intelligence had tracked his location for months. Multiple strikes. No margin for error or survival. At 3:05 a.m. Iranian state media went completely silent. No announcement, no emergency broadcast, just darkness. The entire world held its breath and waited. It was midnight in London, 7 p.m. in New York, 6 a.m. in Beijing. Every major newsroom on Earth scrambled simultaneously. The biggest story in a generation had broken. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera. All emergency coverage simultaneously. Anchors reading fragments of unconfirmed information in real time. Nothing official yet. Pure global panic spreading. Oil markets reacted instantly. Brent crude spiked 7% in 4 minutes. Traders stared at screens in stunned silence. The economic shockwave was immediate. Saudi Arabia's king was woken at 3 a.m. UAE. Leadership convened emergency sessions. The Gulf states had anticipated this moment for years. They still were not ready for it. Russia's Kremlin was informed by intelligence. Putin convened an emergency security council call. Moscow's reaction would matter, but it would be calculating, not impulsive. In Beijing, Chinese officials watched with the Middle East map on one screen and Taiwan on the other. How does this reshape American power? That was China's only question. Across Israel, air raid sirens activated simultaneously. Not from incoming fire, not yet, but emergency war alert systems. The country was officially at war. Grim acceptance. At 4 a.m., Benjamin Netanyahu, silver gray hair, dark suit, Israeli flag behind him, addressed his nation. Calm but resolute, the weight of history visible in every word. We have removed the existential threat posed by the Iranian regime. Israel will never apologize for defending its right to exist. The statement was historic and absolute. Trump posted again on Truth Social. Everything going exactly as planned, ahead of schedule. A military operations map behind him, full of green check marks. Confidence projected. At 4:30 a.m. Tehran time, Iranian state media returned briefly. One announcer visibly shaking, reading a prepared statement from a paper. Then the feed cut to black again. The statement confirmed what the world was already piecing together. Khamenei had been struck. His condition was not disclosed. The planet held its breath and waited again. 5:45 a.m. Iranian state media made the announcement the world had been waiting for since the bombs first fell. Supreme leader Ali Khamenei was dead. For 35 years, he had ruled Iran with absolute authority. He survived sanctions, protests, wars, and assassination attempts. Until this morning, 2026. Trump confirmed it on Truth Social before Iranian state media finished the broadcast. Khamenei is dead. The announcement went out to the world before Tehran could say it themselves. Something extraordinary happened in Tehran streets. First, one person stepped outside, then 10, then hundreds. Iranians poured out of apartment buildings, celebrating in the dawn. People who had lived their entire lives in fear of this man were dancing. Women removing hijabs in public. Old pre-revolutionary Iranian flags appearing from hiding places in homes. But the regime was watching. Basij forces deployed within minutes. Live fire on celebrating crowds in at least 3 Tehran neighborhoods. Joy turned bloody almost immediately. In southern Iran, a crowd surrounded a monument to Ayatollah Khamenei, the revolution's founder. They tore it down with their bare hands. It crashed into dust. The images spread globally within minutes. 2 Irans visible simultaneously to the world. One celebrating liberation in the streets, one violently fighting to survive in power. Iran's top security official, Ali Larijani, convened an emergency leadership council. Gray hair, dark suit, IRGC commanders around the table. The Islamic Republic would not go quietly. The United States and Israel are trying to dismantle our nation. They will pay for every bomb dropped on our sacred soil. The defiance was immediate and absolute. 7 a.m. Tehran time, Iran's Revolutionary Guard activated its full retaliatory arsenal. The order had been prepared for years. It executed in minutes. Everything at once. The IRGC launched simultaneously in every direction: Israel, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Jordan. All targeted at exactly the same moment. Nothing held back. Hundreds of Shahed 136 kamikaze drones, distinctive delta wings, cheap and devastating in swarms, filled the skies across the entire Middle East simultaneously. An overwhelming wave. Ballistic missiles followed the drones. Faster, harder to intercept, carrying larger warheads. Iran was throwing its entire arsenal at once. Overwhelming by deliberate design. Israel's Iron Dome, Arrow 3, and David's sling systems activated instantly. The sky over Tel Aviv became a battlefield. Interceptors meeting incoming threats in every direction. Most were intercepted, not all. 9 people were killed near Jerusalem in the first Iranian wave. 40 buildings damaged in Tel Aviv alone. The shield was imperfect. Dubai was hit. Iranian drones struck Dubai International Airport, one of the world's busiest. The iconic Burj Al Arab shaped hotel took a direct hit. smoke visible for miles. Videos flooded social media. Smoke filling Dubai airport's terminal. Travelers running through concourses. The Burj Al Arab damaged. The Gulf's symbol of prosperity shattered live. Abu Dhabi Airport. Kuwait International. Bahrain Airport. All struck within the same 30-minute window. Every major Gulf hub simultaneously shut down. The region's skies went dark. The U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, America's most important naval base in the Middle East, took a direct Iranian missile strike to its compound. 3 American soldiers were killed in Kuwait, 5 seriously wounded. Trump was informed in the Situation Room. His response at the podium was immediate, somber, and cold. There will likely be more American casualties. We knew this going in. We finish what we started. There is no other option now. The statement was delivered without hesitation. Iran made its most dramatic move at 9 a.m., officially announcing the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world's oil supply cut off in a single announcement. Oil prices exploded. Brent crude jumped 22% in a single hour. Stock markets across Asia and Europe hit emergency circuit breaker halts simultaneously. OPEC called emergency meetings. Airlines rerouted every flight away from Gulf airspace. Shipping insurance rates skyrocketed overnight. The global economy became a casualty of war. The American military response was massive and immediate. Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from U.S. Navy destroyers in the Gulf, targeting every IRGC naval base along Iran's coast. Trump announced U.S. forces had sunk 9 Iranian naval vessels. The scale of destruction in the Persian Gulf was growing by the hour as America delivered on its promise of overwhelming force. U.S. Central Command confirmed strikes on 27 IRGC facilities across Iran. The Israeli Air Force dropped over 1,200 munitions across 24 of Iran's 31 provinces in a single day. No country in modern history had absorbed this volume of simultaneous precision strikes. Iran's military infrastructure was being dismantled systematically, target by target, hour by hour. Iranian anti-aircraft batteries fought back fiercely. Several U.S. drones were shot down. 1 U.S. aircraft reported damage over Iranian airspace. Iran was not surrendering its skies. Iraq's Iran-backed Kataib Hezbollah militia fired rockets at U.S. forces in Iraq. American forces responded instantly. The war was spreading beyond Iran's borders by the hour. Lebanon watched and waited. Hezbollah held hundreds of thousands of rockets pointed at Israel. The decision whether to commit them fully could change everything overnight. Israel preemptively struck Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon. At least 31 killed. Hezbollah vowed retaliation. A second front was now opening in real time. By midday on February 28th, 6 countries were in active combat operations. The war had doubled in size in under 12 hours. It was still accelerating. The United Nations Security Council convened at noon New York time. Every seat filled. The tension in the chamber was unlike anything seen since the Cold War. Secretary General Guterres spoke with visible distress. "We are witnessing a grave threat to international peace. Military action risks igniting a chain of events nobody can control." Russia called the strikes illegal under international law. China demanded an immediate ceasefire. Both vetoed every Security Council resolution supporting the U.S.-Israel operation. Deadlocked. Britain expressed deep concern. France called for restraint. Germany, briefed only hours before the strikes, was furious. The Allied coalition was fracturing in real time. Turkey's Erdogan condemned the strikes publicly. Privately, Turkish officials confirmed they had allowed NATO AWACS surveillance flights from Turkish soil. The contradiction was noted worldwide. In Congress, war powers resolutions were filed in both chambers simultaneously. Senator Tim Kaine said it plainly. This is an illegal war. The constitutional battle had begun. Trump dismissed Congress entirely. I have full authority as commander-in-chief. The lawyers can debate it later. We are protecting America, and we will finish what we started. Protests erupted in London, Paris, and Berlin within hours. Hundreds of thousands in the streets. History was moving faster than populations could process what they were witnessing. In the Arab world, the reaction was split. Gulf governments quietly relieved Iran was being weakened, their own populations furious at American aggression. A dangerous and widening gap. By midnight, the death toll was devastating. Over 550 confirmed dead in Iran, 10 in Israel, 3 Americans, 5 across the Gulf states. Iran's nuclear program, the entire purpose of the operation, had taken devastating damage. Whether it was truly destroyed would take weeks of intelligence assessment to determine. Khamenei was dead, but the IRGC remained fully intact. The regime was wounded, not finished. Iran was already promising its biggest wave of attacks yet to come. Late on the 28th, Trump told The Atlantic that Iran wanted to talk. He had agreed to talk. A war begun at 2:30 a.m., so was seeking a diplomatic exit before midnight. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, who survived the strikes, vowed publicly that bloodshed and revenge were Iran's legitimate right and duty. He meant every word. 2 men, 2 statements. One wants to talk, one wants revenge. Both simultaneously true. That impossible contradiction was the defining reality of February 28, 2026. The Strait of Hormuz remained sealed. Gulf airports remained dark. Oil markets remained in chaos. Day 1 was over. The world that woke up that morning no longer existed. The strikes answered one question. Could the U.S. and Israel hit Iran decisively? Yes, but they opened 100 questions nobody had answers to yet. That is where we are now. Will the regime survive? Will the Iranian people seize the moment they have been waiting for? Or will the bombs push them back behind a broken government? Will Hezbollah fully enter the war? Will the strait reopen? Will Trump's talks produce anything before the next wave hits? We answer all of this in video 3. But before you go, there is one question that defined every decision made in that Situation Room at midnight on February 27th. And we want your answer. If you were the President of the United States, sitting at that table with the intelligence in front of you, would you have given the order to strike? Yes or no? Tell us in the comments. Tell us why. This is history unfolding in real time, and your voice is part of the record. Subscribe and stay with us.